Hello there everybody, it's the Dangazor here and welcome back to part 2 of the platform shooter tutorial. And we're going to do some stuff today. So for today, we are number 1 going to make a view for our player and stuff so we can like see him and everything will look good and be good. And number 2, we're going to actually put in the whole weapon gathering switching system, which is going to be a little bit complicated. It's going to be pretty advanced today. Like last week was pretty simple. This week's gonna get pretty intense. So I'm gonna try and go through it as quick as I can, but without going too fast. So first off, let's make our view. Number 1. So we got our room right here. We got our nice stuff inside of it. So first thing we're gonna do is go to views. This little view tabs right here. We want to enable the use of views and visible when the room starts. So we're setting up this view right here. So the numbers that I found that I've liked, we're gonna go with the width of our view to be 512, the height of it to be 288. So we kind of get this much view in the room, and then how much it actually shows on the screen is 1024 and 576. And that's pretty much all we need to do as far as this is concerned. Now, we need to do one thing first. We gotta go to our global game settings right here. This is one thing I'm gonna do is make it so that if we go to Windows, General, or Graphics, here we go, the Graphics tab, we go Start in full screen mode. We're also gonna do some other things. I'm gonna turn off interpolate colors between pixels because we want to keep our pixels nice and crisp so it doesn't like do anything weird. And we want to use synchronization to avoid tearing. That'll make it so when we're moving around, like we won't get weird like shifts in the screen and stuff like that. It makes sense if you can see it, but sometimes it doesn't happen. But that'll prevent it to always to never happen. So now there's just one more thing we gotta do, is that we gotta make it so our view is going to follow our player. I wonder if that is in the... Okay, so first off now we need to make a new object. And we're going to call this Object Controller. And this will kind of control everything. It's going to be visible and persistent. Is that to make sure that it stays within all the rooms. So first off, that we're going to go Other. For the first event, we're going to go to Room Start Event. We're going to put some code in there. And this is just some simple stuff. This is going to go room speed equals 60. And then we're going to do randomize. Boink. So if we put the controller object in the game, no matter what room we go to, it'll just automatically set the room speed to 60. And then it'll just set this randomize thing as well. So when there's because eventually we'll get some random shooting and stuff like that. So this will just make sure that it stays random and that it doesn't stay the same every time. So this is really helpful because this will make it so that we don't have to set the room speed in every single room. We just do the code once and then we never have to worry about it again. Isn't that nice? Let's see, we don't need anything like that. This is the thing we need. So, number 1, we're going to make a step event. We're going to put some code in there. And I'm going to put a little comment in here to say view, follow, player. Alright. So this is what's going to make our view follow our player. And this is going to be a bit of an interesting bit of code, because it's going to make a nice effect. So first we're going to say view, x view, and we're going to say 0. And then we're going to go equals, and we're going to go lerp, or linear interpolate, which means it'll approach the number that we're wanting it to go to by a certain percentage. It gives it this kind of speed up and then gradually slow down effect, which is really cool. It looks really good when it comes to views and stuff like that. So in the first argument, we're going to go view times x view because that's the value that we're at. And then we're going to start a parenthesis. And this is the number, the second argument is the number that we're trying to get to. So we're going to go object underscore player dot x minus, and in another bit of parentheses. Oh yeah, this is the thing. Okay, we're going to go view underscore w view, or the width of the view, and we're going to divide it by 2. So basically we are trying to this right here will get our player x and then minus half the view because we're talking about the top left corner of the view right now. We're also going to do something else. We're going to close that parenthesis and we're going to go plus. We're going to go 2 parentheses and we're going to go mouse underscore x minus object player point x. close the first parenthesis, we're going to divide it by 3. Not 2, 3. And then in the last argument, where I'm actually going to increase that so we can get a nice view on the whole thing, we're going to say 0.1. So let me explain what's happening here, because this is a long like equation and stuff like that. So we got to learn to interpolate. We're starting with view x view, right? We're trying to get to first this point that is object player x, so in the middle. Then it's going to minus half the view, boink, so there's like equal on each side. And then what we're actually doing is also adjusting it for the mouse's x position, and we're dividing it by 3. So basically, we're saying that also, if depending on where the mouse is x in, the view is also going to kind of shift over in that direction. Kind of makes sense. So basically, wherever we're viewing, it'll give us a better view of what we're trying to shoot at. And this is what the x. So basically, now we're going to do the same thing. Oh, and first we actually want to do one little bit of code I forgot before here. We want to say if instance exists object player, because like if our object player like gets destroyed or doesn't exist for a second, we don't want the game to freak out and be like, oh, like, because it's trying to find its x position and stuff. We don't want it to freak out and be like, where is it? And crash on us. So now we're going to do the same thing, view underscore y view, except we're going to do it just with the y stuff. So pretty much what we could is we could copy the other one and just change everything to y, but I'm just going to type it out. So view underscore y view of view 0, first parenthesis, object player point y minus view h view of 0 divided by 2, parenthesis, plus 2 more parentheses, mouse underscore y minus obj player point y, right parenthesis, divided by 3, not 2. I keep hitting that wrong. Right parenthesis, and then 0.1. Oh yeah, because then this last part is just going to approach this number by 10% every time. Now, I'm going to do one more thing as well. We're going to now make it so that when we press escape, the game will end so we can get out of it, because it'll be in full screen, so we can't just hit the X. So I want to say if keyboard check pressed VK escape. So this is basically saying we don't want that. When we press the escape key, we're going to say game end. Pretty easy. Alright, so let's check out how our view has all gone down. Let's see how it all works, because it should be good, just to make sure. But yes, so right now we also need to kind of make, right now we don't have a gun, so it doesn't really matter that we're aiming at stuff, but just to check. And so things have gone a little weird. Okay, I wonder why we're kind of getting this kind of weird view. Let's check some stuff out. So we press escape, nothing happens. Alright, so our game is completely broken. Oh, I know why. Because we never put the controller object inside the room. Let's do that. Let's not forget to do that. So we'll just come to our room, control object. So we are basically getting a view of this top corner, and then nothing was happening. Okay. Let's try that again, huh? That would be good. Okay. Let's see. Here it is. See now, as we see, we got our much closer view of the player. We can now run and jump, and you see we got this nice kind of smooth effect, especially also as we move the mouse, it'll also give us that nice smooth effect. So it looks really good. Uh-oh. We're over here. I should really make something over here so we can get back up or something. I don't know, maybe we'll do ladders or something as like one of the videos. I don't know. If there's other things you want to see into the game later on, you could just put it in the comments and we'll probably do it. If there's any cool stuff you want to add, you want to add to the game, or see like tutorials on what we should add to the game. Because this is probably, this game is going to be, we're going to be making this for a long time just to see a bunch of different coding aspects and programming things. The goal is to make it kind of a full game. But that's neither here nor there. So let's escape that. Good, so we got our view working. Everything is great. The game is kind of frozen right now. Gamemaker. Exit that. Okay. Good. Now, we're going to do the complicated thing. with the whole guns thing. So I would normally do this one step at a time because I did this differently in making the game with the whole, with the whole like shooting the gun and like switching guns and stuff. But it's easier for me to just do it, for us to just do it right off the bat and get this all figured out, so we don't have to kind of take steps and take code out and anything like that, so we can just get right to it. So I've done this. The way I've done this is going to be really easy. So first off, the very first thing, we want to create a sprite. We're going to go SPR gun 1. And actually, I'm going to make a new folder just for guns. So we're going to call it guns. Because the idea is that we're going to program this in such a way that we can add guns really easily to the game. Which is what I like. I like things to be easy when we're adding stuff. So first off, let's add in some sprites for our guns. So we're going to add in this gun 1 strip right here. And I want to just kind of show this real quick, this animation. Just because like the frame 0 when it comes for these guns, or the first frame, you just want this to be the basic what it will look like when they're getting held, right? And then the rest of the animation is it getting shot. So you see, that's us like shooting the gun right there as we like shoot through that. So that's how your animations want to look for the guns. And then one more thing is that we want to make the X and Y like right on the shoulder. So we want that to be like, yeah, about 7, about 2, maybe. Because that's going to be like the pivot point of the gun. We're just going to do one gun for now. So we're going to do, well, I'll show you how easy it is to put new. So we're going to put bullet 1. We're going to load sprite, and this is our bullet 1 right here. Pretty easy. It's just a bullet, and then we just want to center that. And then last but not least, we're going to have SBR bullet, and we're going to call it like hit. Because then we have this animation where I'll also put this, I won't center this, I will put this, the X like over here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we want like the X to be all the way over because we want the origin to be, if I show this animation, we want the origin to be like right here. Because this is like our explosion sprite, just basically when bullets hit places, that will happen. So, once you've taken the time to get your sprites figured out for everything, let's get everything kind of set up. Like, so this is basically what I call like an expandable database. I don't think it's a concept that I've made up, but it's something that I at least came up with on my own. But I definitely don't think it's new. In fact, I'm sure it's not new. But I use this a lot with to make games easily expandable, basically. So we're going to call this SCR init, as in like initiate gun database. This is what we're going to call it. So this gets a little heavy because basically this will just start off giving us all the lists that we need to start off adding guns. So we're just going to put this little comment in here that says gun database just to show that it doesn't actually have any arguments. So this is what's going to happen right here, is that we're going to go global. Basically what this is that we're setting up a bunch of lists. Data gun name equals ds list create. Now I'm going to make this a little bit easier on ourselves, and I will just copy ds list create. I'm going to put a copy on that by Control C. And basically we're just starting a bunch of different lists of information that we want to keep track of when it comes for each gun. So we're going to go global.data gun image equals ds list create. Global.data gun frames equals ds list create. Global.data gun object equals ds. And I'll explain what all these do in a minute, because when we actually like add a gun, it'll show more of what it's all going to do. So global.data gun length equals ds list create. Global.data gun speed equals ds list create. Global.data gun rate equals ds list. Why am I typing that one out? Create. Global.data gun reload equals ds list create. Global.data gun max equals ds list create. Global.data gun clip DSLS create global.data gun, let's see, spread equals DSLS create global.data gun knock equals DSLS create. Here's the last one. Global.data gun damage equals DSLS create. So we're setting up a bunch of arrays, basically, that are going to keep track of all types of information for all the different types of guns. So basically, when we just type this in, it'll get all these lists started, and that's all we need to do there. It's not so much the hard part. Well, it's not even the hard part. So now we're going to make a script that we're going to run when we want to add a gun to the database, basically. And I got to open this up because it's got like this huge description, and we need to put this description in so we can see. So first off, we're going to call it scr add gun database. All right. Dash 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 add gun database. And now we are going to put name, comma, sprite, comma, frames, comma, bullet object, comma, gun length, comma, that says gun length, gun length. See, and this one we're going to need to pull like all the way over here and bring like way over here, because we need to type these in so as we're adding guns in the future, we can know what we're doing. So we're going to go bullet speed, comma, fire rate, comma, reload time, comma, max bullets, comma, clip spread, comma, or so clip, comma, spread, comma, knock back, comma, damage multiplier. Okay, so these are all the things that we're going to add to the database. So now more stuff. And first off, I'm going to go ds list add, put it just like this, and I'm going to copy this to make it a little bit easier for the future. So now we're going to do the kind of basically the same thing. Global.data gun. We're actually going to make this a lot easier on ourselves. We're going to go comma, and then argument, and then the two open brackets. So type this first. That way we can just copy this and then put that in, and then most of the work is done for us already. So then right now we're just going to fill in this name. So we're going to name, and then that argument is 0. All right, copy this. The next one is image. We're referencing all the, and then this argument is going to be 1. We're referencing all the lists that we have already made though with the other arguments. So we're going to go frames, and then argument 2. We just got to make sure that it's all spelled the same, or we're going to get errors and stuff. But if it is, we'll know. So this one's going to be object. This one's going to be 3. This one is going to be length. This one's going to be 4. This one's going to be speed. And this one's going to be 5. Then we're going to have this one is rate. This one is 6. This one is reload. Reload. And then that's 7. This is max. This is 8. Let's see, max. Then this is clip. Clip, 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 clip. 9. And then we're going to say spread 10. And then we're going to say knock 11. Not 211, 11. And the last one, we're going to say damage. And this is going to be 12. So, so this script, like we said before, is that we're going to run this, add a bunch of information in it for our gun, and then that is going to be, and it's just going to have that like information available to us that we can reference later in our guide. So once you have this all done, we can hit OK. Now, first thing we got to do is we got to do 2 more things. Is that we need to make 2 more scripts. The next script is, that's not it. Create a script. There we go. We're going to call this str set inventory. So this script is going to be used inside of our player. str underscore set inventory. This also doesn't have any arguments. And so this, like I said, is going to be used inside of our player object to give the player an inventory type thing that we can use to store gun information. So first off, this one's going to take a lot less time. We're going to say guns equals ds list create. Then we're going to have gun max ammo equals ds list create. Then we're going to have gun current ammo equals ds list create. And gun current clip equals ds list create. Yeah, so this is basically going to be inside of our player. It's going to keep track of what guns that we have, the ammo of them, the current ammo, the clip, just things like that. Information that we're going to use when like reloading and shooting the gun and everything like that. So, now, we're going to do one more script. And this script is going to call SBR add inventory. And basically we're going to use this every time we want to add a gun to our player's inventory, making things really easy for ourselves. And then the only argument inside here is going to be gun ID. Alright. So now, here's what we're going to do. This one's a bit easier, because we're going to say var gun underscore ID equals argument 0, not 1, 0. Then we're going to ds list add guns gun ID ds list add gun max ammo. And then so this is where we start to reference the database that we're setting, that we set up right there of all the guns. Is that we go global dot data gun max, and then we're going to do a straight bracket here, and then we're going to do we're going to go shift and then press for this line right above the enter key, and then we're going to do gun ID. This is like a basic array accessor, so we could do it another way, and let me just close this up. We also could though ds list find value, I believe that's what it is, and we can do the ID being global dot data gun max, and then we position, we can say gun ID, and this will accomplish the same thing as this, but this just takes up less space and whatnot. So basically when we add guns, whenever we use these accessors and this gun ID, is that we're going to be looking for that spot in the array, and we're going to find this bit of information. Is that like it's max ammo pretty much, and we're just going to keep adding this stuff in. Add gun current ammo, and this is going to be the same thing, is because whenever we pick up a new gun, it'll be at its maximum ammo. Global dot data gun max, same thing, straight bracket, straight line, gun ID, other straight bracket, and then close parentheses. We're plugging in the same thing. We're adding that to this list that we set in our inventory script, and then it's the same information though, because our current ammo, how much ammo we actually have inside the gun, is the same as this. DS is the same as the maximum ammo. DS list add. So now the last thing, gun current clip, and this is how much ammo we have in our clip at the moment, or how much like ammo is going to be inside each clip. So we're going to global dot data gun clip, same thing, straight bracket line gun ID, straight bracket, and close parentheses. So that is it for that script right there. So now we set up all these scripts. Let's actually use them inside the game. Whew! Let's actually do this. So first off, our object controller, I'm going to move it up here, is that first we need to make a create event now. Is that in this create event, boink, add our script. Now we're going to say scr init data gun database. It's gun database. There we go. No arguments. And that's it right there. So that sets up this. Now, anytime we want to add a new gun that's available into the game as a whole, we're going to run our scr add gun database script, okay? And this is how this works. So basically now we're just going to spill in all the information that we want for this certain gun. So first we're going to call this the Power Combine. That's the name that I came up with this gun. Its sprite is SPR gun 1, because that's the gun that we put it in there. The amount of frames in its animation is 9. That's what we're putting in there. Bullet object, and this is like the bullet that's going to shoot. We haven't made it yet, so we're just going to call it object bullet 1, I think. The gun length, so this is how many pixels away, like from the barrel and stuff, it'll actually make our bullet. So we're going to call this 20, because that's the amount of like pixels that I put in. Its bullet speed, or how many pixels per step that it's going to move, is 12. Its fire rate is 0.8, as in it will fire every 0.8 seconds. Its reload time is 2 seconds. Its maximum bullets is 200. It'll have 200 bullets altogether, but in a clip, each clip will hold 12. Now its spread. This is how much the bullets will like vary up and down. It'll also take into account, because our character is also going to have accuracy. So right now the spread is going to be 0, because this gun is going to be based off of purely our player's accuracy. And the knockback of this gun will be 3, and the damage multiplier is 1, because our player will also have a damage variable that it will use, and this will just multiply it by 1. So if we want this to do more damage than our player's like thing, we can do like 0.5, and then that'll make it so that our player deals 50% more damage with these bullets. So then we just have that one gun, and so now that's all set up, all the information that we need for that gun. Now first off, what I want to do is we need to make 2 more objects. So first we're going to make, because the whole system, like I said, gets a little interesting, so it might be a little bit of a longer video. So we're going to create a new group called bullets, and first off we're going to make an object called object player underscore damage. Basically this is going to be just one giant parent object, so that anything that our player will deal to deal damage, this will keep this, so that enemies and stuff will just know, they'll just have one event where if they hit the object player damage, no matter what bullet it is, they know just to take damage from it, whatever it is, and do whatever effect. So that is done. We don't need anything like that. It's basically just an identifier for any future bullets. Now, the rest is, now we're going to create our one bullet. We're going to call object bullet 1, because that's what we called it inside here. We want to give it our bullet of bullet 1. And now we're going to set some... stuff. So first off, we're going to make it so it'll collide with things. So first off, we want to make it in its collision. We don't actually have enemies yet, so we don't need to worry about it as far as that goes. But we do need a step event, and we're going to add in some code. Now the collision with the blocks, we're actually putting inside the step event here. So first we're going to say image angle equals direction. So wherever our bullet's moving, it's going to turn itself to face that direction. Alright. Then we're going to say if position meeting. Now, x plus length dir underscore x. I'll explain this all when it's done. Speed, direction, close parenthesis. Y plus length dir y underscore y. The length is speed. The direction is direction, comma, object is object block. Basically what these functions do, length dir underscore x and length dir underscore y, is that we put in like a length and a direction, and it'll give us y coordinates based off of where that's going. So basically we can take our x and y, and we can add in our potential coordinates depending on whatever direction that we're facing. So it's really useful, really handy script. So this is going to be actually similar to what we were doing before in like our player objects. So we're going to go while not position meeting, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to go x plus length dir x. The length is going to be 1 pixel. And the direction is going to be still direction, whichever way we're going. Same thing, x or y plus length, dir, y. The length is going to be 1. The direction is going to be direction. And then the object is object block. And we need to do something. What do we need to do? I'll put another parenthesis in there. Now we're going to go x plus equals length dir x, and then 1, and then direction, like a length of 1, and in the direction. Same thing with the y, plus equals length dir underscore y, 1, comma direction. And then after that, it'll say instance destroy. Now, the reason for this entire script, so basically what this is going to do is that it's going to zip zapping along, and if its next like step is going to be add a block, it's instead going to move itself 1 pixel at a time closer in the direction that it was going until it hits the block, and then it's going to destroy. The reason for this is because we're going to have like its explode animation, right? This will make sure that the explode animation is always right next to the block, so it doesn't look weird. Because sometimes it'll look weird if like our bullet explodes and it's not even touching the block, like it's just kind of close but not really, you know. So this is ensuring it's kind of a visual thing, pretty much. It's a lot of code for a visual thing, but it's good at either rate. So we can put that in the step event. Then we're gonna have some other things. So first, actually, we're gonna pause right there and add another object, and we're gonna call this object bullet die. And we're going to add in our animation for object bullet hit, so we can actually just call this hit to keep it. This one's really easy though. This one is just animation end, and then we're going to put in here instance destroy. So this is really easy. That's all we need to do for our death animation. Our bullet is going to change everything else. Because now we took that little bit of detour. We're going to go back to our bullet 1. We want to say, in the event that it gets destroyed, we want to say with instance create xy object bullet hit. Put it right there, the 2 parentheses. So basically it's saying we're going to make a new bullet. We're going to make the bullet hit animation or object. And then inside the object, that's what this with does, is that now inside that object we're going to run this code. Image angle, other point image angle. Basically we're going to set this is from, of course, the bullet hit object perspective. It's going to set its bullet image angle to other, which it'll refer back to this bullet. That's image angle. And then we're just going to say image speed. Its animation is going to be 0.5. That's all we need to do there. And then one more little bit of code to make sure everything's all clean up is that we also want to just say outside of room. We also just want to say instance destroy. And that's actually everything we need to do for our 1 bullet. So now everything's in place. Everything is set up for our guy to be able to shoot bullets. Alright? That was all just kind of setup stuff. Now we're going to get really into it. And this is the part that's going to make the video not much longer, but a bit longer. So we're going to go over to our code right here, our create event, and we are going to add some stuff. Boy, we're going to add some stuff. Okay, so first off, we're going to put, I remember what this is now, so we're going to put a little comment here. We're going to say gun stuff. Alright, first, we're going to put the variable current gun. This is going to be the gun that we're holding. We're going to make it 0. So whatever space in our inventory, that's basically what this is, that this is like an inventory slot. Alright. And then we're going to say SCR set inventory. These codes that we put before, these scripts that we made before, and SCR add inventory. And in here I'm going to put a 0 because we're basically adding gun 0. We know what this is because if we go to our controller, this technically is gun 0 right here. If we added another one, that would be gun 1, gun 2, and so on and so forth. But, so yeah, basically we're going to give him the 0 gun. Alright? Now, we have some other stuff. Gun X, I'm going to say this is equal to -4. This is basically the coordinates of where we're going to put our gun. Gun Y equals 0. These, of course, need to be adjusted based off of your animation, your sprites, and everything like that. But this is basically just going to position, if we go to our animations here, I'll put this right here. Basically, what it's doing is that it's positioning this point right here, this X and Y coordinate. It's positioning that on like so it's from our middle coordinate, it's going to move it back 4 and up 0. So basically it's just kind of putting this in a spot where our gun will be on like the shoulder of our player pretty much. Alright? And then we're going to say gun frame equals 0, which is going to be like the frame of our animation. And then right here we're going to put a comment, we're going to put gun stats. Alright? Let's bring this up, lower this a little bit. So now these are all the variables that we're going to need to temporarily keep track of our gun. So we're going to go max gun frame equals 0. Rate equals 0. These are basically just dummy values in here. Oh, one other thing. Let's put this up here. We're going to put ACC equals 3. This is accuracy of our player. And then we also want damage equals 15. Alrighty, here we go. More stuff. We're going to say clip equals 0. We're basically just initializing variables right here. Current bullets equals clip, which is just going to be 0, right? Max underscore bullets equals 0, which I think is the max in our clip. Bullet, or just bullets, equals max B, which is how many bullets we have in our clip right now, I think. Or, no, this is just the maximum bullets altogether. This is just bullets altogether. Reload equals 0. Spread equals 0. Length equals 0. Name equals blank. And knock equals 0. Now, this should have everything set up for our guns. That sets everything up to be ready. Oh boy. Now, just a few things that let's just get it right now so that we draw our gun. Let's not worry about shooting anything. Let's just make it so we can draw our gun. So, this is going to be easy. So we're going to add event, draw event. And the first thing we're going to put in is draw self to make sure our animations and everything are going to be drawn correctly and all good. And then we're going to say draw sprite underscore ext. Our sprite, I'm just looking at something right now. Okay, I got it. Yeah, that's how we do this. So our sprite is global.data gun image. We're accessing these global variables that we set up for all of our gun information. This is going to get a little interesting because we're going to put an accessor inside of an accessor. Here's what we mean. We're going to set up our accessor with the bracket and the line. We're going to put guns, and the guns is the inventory of the player, right? And we're going to put another accessor in there of current gun. All right? We're going to do this a lot. But so I'll explain this once so that we kind of get the idea of what's happening here. So basically we have our current gun. Our current gun is 0, okay? That way it's going to look in, now inside the accessor of the guns, it's going to look in slot 0 of our gun inventory. And in our case, our slot 0 is occupied by the power combine, which is also a 0, right? So then this altogether is going to get a 0. So then inside the data gun image, that 0, which is the power combine, it's going to then refer back to all the way here where we set that it's looking for the sprite. So the sprite is SBR gun 1. All right, so that's basically what's happening when we set up something like this double accessor type thing, is that we're getting our current gun, the one that we're holding, referring back to our inventory to get the numerical value of the gun inside the main database. Alright? Alright. Whew! Now, the subimage, gun underscore frame. This will control like our firing animation, but for right now it's not going to do anything. Now the X of where it's going to be, so it's going to be X plus, and we're in parentheses, we're going to go image X scale, we're using this again, times gun X. So this will change the gun's like X position depending on where we're facing. It'll keep it on our shoulder at all times, which is really good. And then Y plus gun Y, typed correctly, comma 1, which is its X scale, and then its Y scale is we're also going to flip the gun, image X scale, but depending on our X scale. Now our rotation is going to be aim, which we're going to set in a second. It's color C white to make sure that nothing happens, and then the alpha is 1. So now, next off we got to do is that, yeah, this sets up everything. So we're going to get our sprite, we're going to get whatever frame it's on, we're going to put it in the right spot, we're going to flip it depending on where we're facing, we're going to turn it depending on where we're aiming, and then draw it. So, last but not least, we just go to move player, I believe. Yeah, so if we go into our move player script, at the very bottom, we're going to say aim equals point direction, and in parentheses, we're going to go X plus gun X. So this is the X that we're starting with. Y plus gun Y, which is the Y that we're starting as well. So basically, we're going to start from the guns X and Y, and we're going to go mouse underscore X, mouse underscore Y. All right. So this ensures that like our gun is going to point in the direction that our mouse is going from like the axis of where it's being based off of. All right. Now, just to make sure that everything's in place, I feel like we need to initialize our aim, but it doesn't look like I have, so everything should be in place. Let's make sure everything has worked. So here we go, a new grand test to make sure it's all working. And I think I'm going to save actually firing and stuff for the next episode, because this one's taken a bit of time. So we got a bit of a crash. All right. Let's see, max gun ammo, unknown global variable. So it looks like I just typed something in wrong. Data gun max. Let's see. So first, I'm going to go to our done database. Data underscore gun underscore max. We made that. All right. Add gun to database. Data underscore gun slash underscore max. All right. Set inventory. Max ammo, max clip. Add inventory. Data gun max. Data gun max. Like, it looks like it's good. And then gun ID is there. We put in a gun ID. Let's actually make sure that our control... Oh, I think I know what's happening. Okay. Let's go into our level. We're going to go instance order. All right. We're going to move our object controller all the way up to the top. So basically, we're going to make sure the object controller goes first, sets all the information we need, and then the player starts using it to draw stuff. All right. Let's try that again. That should work because we typed everything correctly. So it's just a bit of a place problem. All right. So right now our gun doesn't it doesn't do a whole lot. Add inventory 0. Why are you crashing? Gun ammo, because it's having a problem with the global variable. So data underscore gun underscore max, which is what we have. So like it should be setting it first. So let's make the depth of this at 10. Very first. Add inventory. We just put it in a 0. That's going to be our gun ID. Alright, let's check it again, just to make sure. So it's having a problem here. To max gun ammo, it's going to go gun max. Accessor gun ID, which is gun ID, right? So it should be a 0. We should plug in a 0, get a 0. Everything should be good because it should be getting that right there. It should be getting our max bullets, which is here. That's what it should be getting. It should be getting a 200. isn't it annoying when that happens and you don't really know why? This will happen, of course, a lot. So this is going to be a little bit of a test in figuring out what's wrong. So it says add inventory unknown global variable. Like, it just doesn't know what it is, not set before reading it. Which is a bit of poppycock because it is set before reading it, of course. But we have changed the depth of the controller object, so we'll see if that does anything. But then if that doesn't work, we can investigate some more. So we should be going. It did not crash. See, there we go. Now we're in good shape. We just had to set the the depth of the controller to make sure that it initializes before the player does. Okay, so we have everything working now. We set up everything. We have our gun. We don't have any firing or anything like that, but at least we have one. We can aim it. What we could do is that I'm actually going to show you one more thing just to get everything. Well, no, it doesn't matter. We can do all that next time. So yeah, we have our gun. We have it. We set the database. We're getting the information correctly from the database, and we're drawing it right. That's basically everything right now. And then so it'll allow us to add more guns, change the current gun, and whatnot, and we will be able to get different things. So that's it for this episode. Next episode, we will be making it so we can fire our gun. We're going to make it so we can display the information of our gun down on the bottom. And then we're going to make it so we can pick up a new gun and switch it, I believe. But it depends on what time permits. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Always remember to have a complete breakfast. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.